Happy Monday, everyone. This is Martha with Nature Niche, and I thought as we're finally starting to get some consistently below freezing temps being forecasted for this winter, that it might help you if we showed you how we installed our winter roost box for our wild birds to have a toasty place to roost at night. So we're going to run you through that process. To learn more about winter roost habitats, why they're important to our wild birds, get different ideas of how you can do that, check out Monday with Martha number 141. As far as siting your roost box, you want to pick a sheltered location that's facing away from the prevailing winds. If you can orient the box to the south, that gets the most solar radiation at the end of the day, so late afternoon, so that the box is nice and warm for the birds as they come in to roost. And you want to mount it whatever works best for your particular site. We are putting it in our backyard within the fenced in portion, but right adjacent to some woodlands, and we are going to mount it on a 4x4 post, but you can also mount these on a pole, on a fence, on the side of a building. You have different options. We like the post or pole mount option best because it's the easiest to predator guard. So as just a reminder for that, you want to locate the box, especially if you're doing the baffle predator guard. You want that at least 10 feet from any launching point so that the predators can't jump around the baffle and get to the box. And you want the box, you want to have the top of the baffle at least 4 feet above the ground so they can't jump around it. And for roost boxes, having it 6 to 15 feet off the ground is going to help it feel most safe for our wild birds. So let's take a look at the tools and equipment you need to install your winter roost box.
All right, so today we're going to walk you through how to install a roost box with our 4x4 system. So the first thing you need is a 4x4 post. This is a 6-foot tall one. Just at your local hardware store you can get those. We're using one of our roost boxes. This works for various amount of roost boxes, so we're just using this one as our demo today. We're using our Irva SB4 squirrel baffle today. Then this is designed to go over a 4x4 post. Now, so we don't have to get the post hole digger out, we have a twister 4x4 post. So this screws into the ground, and then the 4x4 post goes into there. So a little bit easier to install than using a post hole digger. Tools you're gonna need today is a drill, because we're gonna have to drill some brackets into our 4x4 post. I use an impact wrench when I install it on the 4x4. You can just use wrenches or sockets as well. A tape measure, because we want to make sure we measure the height of the baffle to make sure that it's up 4 feet, and any various drill bits that you might need. So let's get her going.
We selected a spot in the corner of our backyard. That way I could have the roost box facing south to get that extra solar radiation, and I could keep an eye on it from one of our main windows and be able to monitor, make sure nothing is trying to get into the box, and hopefully get to capture some active use of the box as well. So you just started. Best to do this when the ground is not frozen, but got the twister base going by hand.
So these you can generally get pretty close to the ground by hand, and it starts getting tough the deeper you go. So we just put a piece of rebar through it, and then we can easily get a little more leverage on this. So all we did was slide our 4x4 post into it. We took the bolts out first. They'll fit in a little bit better that way. You might need to get a little bit of a hammer on top of it to pop it in there to get it in snug. But then after that, the bolts just go in with the nut. And then I use my impact driver to snug these up. All right, so we've got our post bolted in, and our yard actually slopes away down into this corner. So we've got a little bit of it not being that level, so we just kind of stuffed some shims under the lip of this, and that gave us a more level post to mount everything on. So next we're going to mount our bracket for our baffle. This slides over our post, and we're going to put this about 4.5 feet high. You want to be at least 4 feet up off the ground. We have a nice 6-foot pole here, so we're going to go about 4.5. And there we go. So one thing that I do is I always drill a pilot hole, just so it's easier to screw in screws. So we've got our bracket screwed into our post here. Next we're going to slide our baffle over the top. Definitely easier on a step stool, so you can line this up. And then our baffle just sits over our post. So we have this optional L bracket that you can get with these 4x4 kits. So highly recommend this. They are just going to screw right into here and give us a nice platform to screw our roost box to.
To line up the brackets, it was actually easiest to set the roost box on top, place those where we wanted them, and then pencil in where you needed to drill the pilot holes for the screws.
All right, so our brackets are installed. We've got our house sitting up here, and there's just 2 screws on each bracket that just go up into the house, and then we'll be all mounted.
Okay, now that we have the winter roost box installed, I'm going to just fill the bottom a little bit with some pine bedding shavings. You can get this at any pet store, but you never want to use sawdust. That's too fine. Shavings are better, and it just helps provide a nice little warm layer cushion for overnight roosting for your wild birds. Don't forget to monitor your box as you have it up. Clean it out as necessary, and enjoy watching your birds be toasty warm during bad winter weather.
So here's another look at the winter roost box all installed, and with the predator guard, the post-mounted baffle in place. Note the location. We have it 10 feet from the backyard fence, and this should be a safe place for the birds to have a warm winter roost. Within a few days of getting this up, we had some snow events, and I started monitoring the box at dawn, hoping to see some birds exiting. The brave little black-capped chickadees were the first ones to check it out. I didn't see much activity though at first, and I thought perhaps if I put a little tray out, I just hooked it right on the latch part of the front panel, that I might be able to attract some more interest. So I used raw in-shell peanuts and peanut splits. I know that's something that a lot of my cavity nesters would enjoy. And I only did this because I felt pretty comfortable with that post-mount baffle on there, that by putting food close to the roosting area, I wasn't going to attract predators that could then get to any birds that might be inside. You have to be careful sometimes placing food next to any kind of nest box. But in this case, I think it's pretty well protected, and especially during active snow events. Certainly had lots of birds, the chickadees and the tufted titmice coming in to check out. You can see that chickadee has checked out both of the entrances, peered in, and I'm hopeful that the birds in my area know this roost box is out there and are able to use it during the cold evening hours. Plus, they have nice high protein, high energy meal waiting for them. So I've made kind of a little bed and breakfast for them. But it's nice to have it in our backyard to enhance their habitat and give them a safe place to get out of winter storms and stay toasty warm during the night. I hope this install demonstration helps you consider doing something similar in your own yard. I hope you and your wild birds stay safe out there in the winter conditions and are warm and well fed. Take care and have a good week.